So good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining our meeting. As I'm the president of the group, I'll do a small introduction. So today this is our third meeting, and today we're gonna do about bird nests and eggs, and it will be done by our friend Sandew Vishwajith. He studies in Bandana College, Gampa, and he's a very big enthusiast in wildlife. So I'm gonna hand over to Sandew Vishwajith. So yeah, you can do your presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandew Vishwajith and today we are here to discuss about nets and eggs of birds. You are welcome to our Ornithology Study Group. Let's see about nets of birds first. A bird nest is the spot in which a bird lays and incubates its eggs and raises its young, although the term popularly refers to a specific structure made by the bird itself. There There are all kinds of nets, including cup nets, holes in the ground, and piles of twigs and leaves. The study of birds' nest is known as caliology. It is a scientific subject. Have you ever known that word, caliology? Variety of bird nets. There is a huge variety of bird nets. They are in all kinds of sizes. Some can be as big as a car and li- like an old eagle's nest, while some can be tiny as a thimble, like the nest of a bee hummingbird. And there are 9 types of bird nests. Let's see the types of bird nest: scrape, mound, burrow, cavity, cup, saucer or plate, platform, pendant, and spear. Scrape nest. The simplest nest construction is a scrape, which is a shallow depression in soil or vegetation. This nest type has a rim deep enough to keep the eggs from rolling away, sometimes lined with bits of vegetation, small stones, shell fragments, or feathers. Mound nest. This is amazing. This is burying eggs as a form of incubation. These are nets made of soil, branches, sticks, twigs, and leaves, and lay their eggs within the rotting mass. The heat generated by this rotting compost warms and incubates the eggs. Mother bird really does not have to incubate. Burrow nest. In the burrow nest, the eggs, young, and the incubating parent bird are sheltered under the earth. Most burrow nesting bird Birds excavate their own burrows, but some use others. They are known as secondary nesters. Owl is a secondary nester. Cavity nest. The cavity nest is a chamber in living or dead wood, but sometimes in the trunks of tree like cacti, including saguaro. Do you know what is saguaro? It is a type of cacti grows in American deserts. In tropical areas, cavities are sometimes insect nests. Cup nests. This is the most common type of nest. The cup nest is smoothly hemispherical inside, with a deep depression to keep the eggs Most are made of grasses, but some are made of mud or saliva. Saucer or plate nest. As you can see, this is not much pleasant. This is similar to the cup nest, has a shallow depression to keep the eggs inside. Platform nest. The platform nest is a large structure depending on the species. These nests can be on ground or elevated with the materials. You can see them on ground as well as on water. Pendant nest. The pendant nest is a sac woven of materials such as grasses and plant fibers and suspended from a branch. Sunbirds are among the species that weave pendant nests. Spear nest. The spear nest is a round dish structure. It is completely enclosed except for a small opening which allows access. Now let's see into bird colonies. A bird colony is a large number of individuals of one or more species of birds that nest or roost in proximity at a particular location. Many kinds of birds are known to congregate in groups of varying size. A congregation of nesting birds is called a breeding colony. Approximately 13% of all bird species nest colonially. Here you can see some bird colonies. Eggs. The purpose of nest making is laying their eggs in it. So now we are going to learn about eggs. Bird eggs are laid by the females and incubated for a time that varies according to the species. A single young hatches from each egg. Here you can see the anatomy of an egg. The embryo receives its nutrition from it. Embryo is the little chick growing inside the egg. Colors of eggs. The default color of vertebrate eggs is the white of the calcium carbonate from which the shells are made, but some birds produce colored eggs. The pigments give color to the eggs. Biliverding gives a green or blue-brown color, and protofiring produce reds and brown as a ground color or as spotting. Shell of an egg. Bird eggshells are diverse, raw and chalky, rough and chalky, shiny, oily and waterproof, heavily pitted. Tiny pores in a bird eggshell allow the embryo to breathe. The domestic hen's egg you eat has around 7,500 holes. Here you can see a enlarged photo of an eggshell. Hatching of eggs. The chicks of most birds have a tiny bump near the tip of the beak called the egg tooth to help them, but the young of some birds, such as the chick of the moorhen, are well developed when they hatch. They soon leave the nest and follow their parents around to find food for themselves. Now, this is the time for your questions. If you have any questions, please ask.
Excuse me, can you give some examples for those types of nest you explained?
Sorry, I didn't heard it. Can you please tell it again?
Okay, can you give examples for the types of bird nest you just explained?
Please wait a second. I will find and tell you. I don't exactly know some examples.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, someone has asked what is the evolution of shape of eggs? Can you explain that?
Bird eggs are generally ovoid in shape. There is considerably variation in the degree to which they are symmetrically round or bottom heavy. Many hypotheses have been put forward to explain what has driven this variation, with many accepting life history or nesting explanations. Today,
There's another question in the chat box. He is asking the reason for the shape of the egg.
Birds with a diet low in calcium make round eggs because they require the least amount of shell materials. Eggs have different shapes so they can better fit all together in a nest, allowing all eggs to be incubated equally.
If you have more questions, you can ask.
This is about the evolution of eggs. The shelled ammonite egg, which is familiar to many of us as chicken eggs, evolved about 325 million years ago. Among other birds, chicken, chickens evolved with shelled eggs, so the gradual transition to chickens occurred with very little change in the egg.
If you have any more questions, you could put it in the chat box or you could ask.
I think there's no any questions. It's better to end the meeting.
Well, yes, no one has sent any questions to the chat box either. So, okay, then it's, bird nests are one of the most wonderful creations of the nature, and we thank our friend to giving us more knowledge about them. So, Thank you all for joining for our meeting today. If you weren't able to attend to the meeting, we'll put the meeting recording in the group. So goodbye, all of you.
Okay, thank you.